Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you for the weekly wrap-up for Friday, January the 10th, the year 2020. That's right. Let's Talk Trading weekly wrap-up. Normally, I post this video on Friday, but I was traveling and didn't get home till late, and there's football on today, so you're getting it tonight. Okay, so first full trading week of 2020. I know everybody who watches my videos had their risk management on each and every trade, and nobody lost more on any trade than they were willing to lose on any trade, right? Okay, let's look at the week. Oh, look at this. We had 1, 2, 3 gaps that didn't fill. Okay, so we'll see what happens next week. Usually we run the board on the gap fills, but not every time. Because remember, boys and girls, fellow traders, these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may be much different, vastly different from my results. So you should also know that trading is very risky. You could lose all your money. That's one of the reasons we employ stop losses. But if you're looking for trading advice, investment advice, financial advice, seek your advice from an accredited financial professional. That way, if you lose all your money, you know you got your advice from an accredited financial professional rather than some guy or some trader you heard off of the internet on YouTube or some other format. Okay, disclaimer out of the way. Look at where the dollar yen wound up in the upper wick zone of all these previous weeks. Now, what I would look to do is right here. Let's see, what's that? 109.72. Is that, let's see, is that the price? 109. Yeah, 109.72. If we can get it to break and hold above 109.72, I'd look for a price to go long. But if price breaks down, right out of these wick zones here, somewhere here, say around the 140 area, I'd look to maybe start shorting. I mean, you could even go as, let's see, yeah, even as low as the 109.30s. If price starts heading below 109.40 or 30, I'd look for price to come back. Definitely come back. And so, once again, fellow traders, you can look at the pairs that you trade, and you can do the same type of analysis that I do. I just happen to pick the dollar yen. And I know there's somebody wants me to also run through the euro dollar. But you see here, once again, on the dailies, once again, look at these wicks. You just look to the left. You can just put the cursor right there, and you can see what happened. You see price fell through those wicks, and if you look over there, you can see is from 62 down to 50, that was 12 pips. So you can look at the weekly, you can look at the daily, you can also look at the monthly, but you can see here on the month, it shows a little bit different story. There is room to the upside, and that's why I said if it can break above that 70, I think it was, that we might see continued movement to the upside. Right here, 109.72. So if it can break above there, you see we put in those three highs right there, a push above, we could get back up in this area right here, say around 111.50. And what do we have here? That's the previous mid dot right there. So just something to look at. So there was a trader that wanted me to show you the euro. So here's the monthly euro, almost making that same type of formation. You can see here price has been moving down, but we've got a little turn happening here off of this local low. So who knows, maybe price could continue to the upside. You pull back to the week, you can see the turn happen here. And then once again, we had a turn at this local low. And then if you actually look at the daily, you can see here, once again, looking at these wick zones, price cut through, down. Now we're coming off the lower wick zones. So each day here, the past 3 days, made a lower low, but then came pushed back up. And remember those big candles I was telling you about in previous videos? Well, here's a big candle. Price came back to that open, but right here, that one looks like another big candle. So who knows? Maybe this one will get cleared out before the year is over. And just looking here once again at the first day of the month, we broke out of that range. First day of the week, right here, we broke out of that range. So next week, we'll start a new weekly range. We'll still have the same monthly, and this is also the first trading day of the year. Oh, that reminds me, somebody asked me a question. They were asking me about if I could put the yearly in TROHL5, but you see I made a TROHL5 year to date. Because of the way I have to calculate it, I didn't want to muck up the HL5 indicator, so I just made a separate indicator. You can drop it on the chart, and it'll show you those yearly highs and lows and opens. Okay, looking here at that weekly wick zone. Let's shift over to H4 candles. I think we saw this earlier. Now let's go back to H1. I think it gives a better picture. Let's just look at the euro to see how it responded. Right here, that first day we broke out. That second day we crossed below. Here we had some crisscrossing, and then once again breaking to the downside. So trading those that weekly open cross, you know, after Monday, start to look for price to cross. I mean, we can even look at a few other different pairs. So here, after the Monday, you can see we had a nice cross here. Once again, and another cross there on dollar CAD. Look at pound dollar. First day, you see here, we came back down. We had a cross to the downside. And then here on Friday, we're just having a bunch of chop right there. But you can see just how powerful, you know, maybe you don't want to trade on Monday. Maybe you're doing something else. You come back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Just look for those pairs with price somewhere near that weekly open. Let's see. And you can do that with the right here on the weekly, on the dashboard. You can see, you know, if price is within, you know, 5 or 10, you can put the alert here. And you can see right where close is, you know, part of the GPS. Inside bar, look what happened on Friday. We did break that inside bar from 9 days ago, and it hit the high, the weekly inside bar high from 3 weeks ago, and bounced right back into that zone. So once again, long at 58, short at 38. But remember, these videos are for educational purposes only. And we could take a look at the euro and see how that registers on these bars. You can see 2 bars ago on the month, 3 bars ago on the week, 12 bars ago on the daily. And once again, in the daily inside bar, moved out. It's in that monthly, weekly. Here's the low of the week, low of the month. So you can see we are in those inside bars. So look, the short at 109.80 or 110.66, 110.68. Looks like we've got that low right there, 69. So those are the shorts. And the long is right here at 111.74, call it 75 for a long trigger on the inside bar trades. Only 3 pairs with the range of over 100 on Friday. And you can see, once again, we did break the previous day's high there. If you want to look at the euro, the reason why that takes long, you see it changed all the charts because I have the chart changing on. Maybe I should turn that off. But once again, it broke out of the previous day's high. Look at that. The previous day candle was pretty much a doji, signifying at a bottom you'd want to go long. And even though it did break out at a low, it reversed, came out, and went to the upside. Yearly H1 highest open here at 109.64. H1 lowest open on the day was 109.47. You can see here we had a little movement. Picked up a couple of pips. Nothing really to write home about. And your yearly lows, monthly lows are way down in the 107s. On the daily buy zone, pivot, we missed that pivot. But you can see here we pretty much were right back to the open. We just closed 1 pip below the open. So there really wasn't much happening off when you're using the buy zone. Not enough range to do the rat. On the euro, on the other hand, you can see here we put in a low, we put in a high, looking for that short somewhere in this zone. Price stayed in the rat zone. It closed in the rat zone. Usually though, let's see, how did the pound dollar do? It actually closed in the rat zone. 14 off the low, 40 off the high. So you get some days like that. And we've already seen how prices hit the monthly pivot, hit monthly R1, and we'll just have to wait and see what it does for the rest of the month. Missed pivot here, missed pivot here. On the week, we took out the weekly pivot. And we took out the monthly pivot. You can see here, don't have that many monthly bars. That's why you get these crazy numbers here back to 1970. But look at the monthly pivot. I mean, 1994, that doesn't even look like a real number either. So all the way back to 1998 to get what looks like a real missed pivot on the monthly. Just not enough data to go back that far. And as we all know, even with a small range at 25, price isn't going to stay between these two lines. In and out of the wick zone. A few horizontal line trades there. As you can see, Einstein line I've got and a tick since it's Saturday. We're not going to get anything there. Interesting here, you can see we hit that. We actually exited that upper ATR range, but we turned back down to the daily open. So we almost hit the daily open plus half of the ATR2, which was the max, which was the min. ATR3 was the max. And remember, these change every day because the computer, the indicator is running. What was the maximum ATR and what was the min between ATR2 all the way up to ATR14? And looking at the high-low lines that have been bunched up or have been taken out to look to see what price is doing. If we look at the euro, you can see there's a whole bunch of highs that haven't been taken out and then a whole bunch of lows down here. So in between, this is where price is oscillating. So you just look to see for price to either take out or reverse off of these highs and lows. And we don't call them support and resistance, and we don't call them supply and demand because those are concepts. But highs and lows, that's just actual. Nobody can argue that. And you could look at different chart periods if you want. You can even look at the daily and just see the price action of what's getting taken out and what's not. So that's it. That wraps up the week, fellow traders. I hope you had a profitable week. And let's see, I guess last week we talked about how to fix your trading. Not sure what we'll talk about next week. I'll have to ponder that and I'll come up with something, I'm sure. Or we'll just, look at charts and I'll answer your questions. So I hope you enjoyed football on Saturday. If you like football, and enjoy the playoffs tomorrow. And I hope you have a nice, safe weekend. And remember, when you come back to trade, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So when we come back, let's drain the banks.